Friday. I am doing my very best to harness and hang on to my energy right now, because when I show up with the girl that I'm sharing the screen with right now, Ra Binn.
Hi, I'm fine.
My energy starts to get really high and excited. If this is by a crazy random chance the first time that you are experiencing Ra Binn, and it might be, if you are a fan here of the Akashic Academy Facebook page, if you're a new fan, especially because we've been growing very quickly lately, maybe you haven't crossed her path before. If that's the case, you guys are in for such an amazing treat. I know so many of you guys know Ra Binn. You follow her. You guys show up every time she shows up. And I just want to throw out an acknowledgement to all of the people who follow you, by the way, my friend, because you guys are receiving this knowledge and you're holding really, really powerful space for the collective to transition. As you're receiving this information, the collective consciousness and the grids are receiving this information, and you guys are badass. So I always love showing up here in this space with you. Right on. We've got Nestor with us here today, and Michelle, it's your first time. Welcome. Brian Cable in the house. Everybody share this out. I know.
I'm sharing it as well. Make sure you guys are sharing it everywhere. It's going to be a huge feed.
It is going to be super big because Ra Binn is one of the most profound truth bombers that I've ever had the privilege of hanging out with. There's something about the way that she directly hones in on the information and uses vocabulary that it has a way of like blowing and opening up energy circuits in your mind and your paradigms of thinking, in your energy field that creates shifts. So that's why I'm so excited to hang out with her in this space. She's really powerful. And one of the areas where I love to show up is to create platforms for light workers to share more of their mission and also to amplify the energy. And man, amplifying this woman's energy is going to send a lot of powerful energy through my own body. So it's a privilege because it's going to upgrade me as well. If you're joining for the first time, my area of expertise is in the Akashic Records. I am a practitioner of the records, and I also train other light workers how to access their own Akashic Records to increase their impact. Ra Binn is a Reiki master. She is a spiritual healer. We were just talking about how she does what she does. She creates individually for the people that she works with. She teaches Reiki. She is the creator of retreats. So excited to introduce Ra Binn to you guys. So my girl, my goddess, my sister, welcome to the show. I couldn't be more honored to be hanging out with you. Thanks for being here.
I just did my last share. Make sure you guys go ahead and share this out. Obviously, it's a little bit easier for you guys to share it since I'm trying to chat on here. But it's really important we get this feed out. And it's amazing to be back on here, and especially from the United Kingdom. I was just telling her that she's in an amazing, great access point where she is in Tahoe, and I'm over here on the heart chakra ley lines as well as the third eye one. So even in the 5 minutes of us chatting, it was a crazy energy we were generating. So it's pretty amazing to be back.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You guys feel that? So you've got the third eye and the heart chakra ley lines broadcasting to you from Ra Binn. And here, where I am in Lake Tahoe, Kundalini energy of Mother Earth is touching the surface of the planet. It's creating this space to really step into this magical, divine, feminine energy. So excited to just blow this up with you today, my friend. Guys, we want to answer questions, so go ahead and start typing in questions. We also have some topics that we're excited to talk about as well. I started my morning here at the Akashic Academy talking about the event, this idea of the cosmic event, this shift in timelines, this solar flash, this topic that we have information coming in, but it hasn't converged on this exact moment yet. It's begun to unfold starting in 2012. I think that these cosmic shifts are happening. So if you guys missed that, if you want to hear what I had to say about it, go back and watch the replay. Ra Binn, I want to know what you have to say about that. And so here's what I was breaking down. What is the event? When's it coming? What do we need to do to prepare?
All right. This is amazing because I just got trained for this event, and it was really hectic. I was doing a lot of light worker training in California before I was ready to come to the United Kingdom. And basically, there are a lot of lower dimensional timelines that are crumbling. You can think of them as third dimensional timelines, possibly. Just ones not serving humanity, possibly people on timelines that are service of self. Whatever it is, there's a lot of things at play. And we all know there are things going on that are not serving us, and they're on the way out. So basically, we're getting ready. I know we think we live in this one reality and that it's that simple, but our timelines are actually quite separate. And we're getting ready for an event where all of humanity, or basically everyone who's service of others, is going to merge onto a singular timeline. And just from going through it with a few people for practice, it was very hectic. It was very crazy. And I had to have a very high vibrational frequency, which I do. And it was still a lot for my body to go through and handle, as was everyone. So we're going through like a purification process. It could be what the Hopi talk about with their prophecies, a day of purification. It's more like a period of purification. And as we're going through these energetic shifts, we're being hit with a lot of galactic and cosmic energies. And they're having a serious effect on our bodies. They're purifying us, they're activating our DNA, and they're upgrading us. And the thing is, we can't raise our vibrational frequency overnight. So it's kind of a gradual process. I think everyone is just feeling, I'm ready now. Like, I'm ready now.
Right.
You understand how time works. You can't really put like a time stamp on these things, but it's happening all around us. These lower timelines are crumbling and we're being moved to different areas. Whatever it is, we are being prepared on every level for this. And I know we think that we are ready, but the future of humanity basically has a long way to go with these physical bodies. We're still being purified. We're still being upgraded. And we're going to continue. It doesn't just stop with my chakras are open here, I'm enlightened, I'm awake. We're going to continue to come to lucidity as these energies are hitting the planet. We're going to move into higher and higher frequencies. It's a good time too. We just started a space storm today. A lot of people won't feel it until Monday. But we do have an eclipse coming. And I told you guys with the last full moon, there was a lot of Saturn energy around the planet. It's kind of low vibration. So this coming is going to be very intense with a lot of emotions flying around. And we're going to also be hit with a lot of galactic energies at the same time. It's very intense on our bodies. You guys want to make sure you're drinking a ton of water and staying around. It's the best way to navigate those storms.
Just to clarify for you guys, when she talks about that Saturn energy having a low vibrational frequency, there's a lot of energy tied into the Saturn matrix that keeps us locked in linear time. And that's a huge part of the false construct, the false matrix that keeps us all unaware and asleep. And when she talks about purification, that means the old constructs breaking down. It doesn't just mean la la la, we get to paint something new and beautiful. To a certain extent, yeah, that's true. But guess what? We've participated in creating the karma that we're meeting right now in our past lives, in the part of our lives in this time and space when we've been unaware and we've been working on default. So we got to show up. And we've got to energetically neutralize those situations and detach from them. And that's a lot about what the purification process is. Wow. And I'm also finding, working with my group of beings up there who are coming through to show up and my community here on the planet, that we're getting a lot of light circuitry attunements, meaning they're running energy through our chakras and through our being in different ways and connecting it into different cosmic points, which allow us for different levels of access, allows us to open up new multidimensional skills. So there's a twofold of releasing and then figuring out what all this new energy is and what to do with it happening right now.
There's so much work going on behind the scenes to make this happen. Well, like the entire galaxy is watching their eyes on us, because it's up to us to do all this work. It really is. As the light workers, as the healers, we agreed to come assist. And it's really on us. And I love how you say, yes, most of this is about becoming multidimensional. Like, that's why we're activating our DNA. And a lot of people might feel like they're even alone here as a starseed, but you guys have to understand how much help you have behind the scenes. It's being given to you as energetic assistance that you're not even aware of. So a lot of people are going through these rough lessons as the cycles to an end, you know, these lessons are getting more and more intense. We have to be prepared and ready. And a lot of people aren't understanding the amount of energetic assistance going on behind the scenes to make sure that your bodies are okay, you're handling the energies. And that's why it really has to be done gradually.
Yeah, Steve Nobel is, and that's what I wanted to tell you. He's over there in England too. He's one of my favorite people to listen to, the transmissions that he brings through. And what I've been listening to lately, he's really been emphasizing in me, this takes time. We're in a gradual shift right now. And I think even when we talk about the event or the flash, when we talk about it in a singular moment, we're missing the process that's unfolding right now. And it takes time. We're in a very dense system right now. And dense doesn't mean stupid or, by the way, this is a very advanced system that we're in, that we're transmuting right now, but it's very dense. And there's a time continuum that we're working with right now as things move from the realm of ether into our actual reality. But you better believe that we're meeting our karma in every single moment. Whatever reality that we're creating and experiencing, we've created, which is a powerful place to be, because then we can begin to own the shifts and changes when we see the patterns that are arising in ourselves. And I find that eclipse time is huge transformation. It's a huge time to take a look at those situations. I mean, we've had 2 major eclipses in the past year. At the beginning of the year, we had that lunar eclipse, and then we had the major solar eclipse in the summer. What can we expect from this one coming in?
Well, I'll be right on the equator, apparently. So they have a really good perspective of the eclipses over here. I did do a little bit of traveling in the United Kingdom before I settled down into this area. And when I went out to some of those places like Glastonbury and Bath, the veil is very thin there. So if you're at a low frequency, that might not be so good, as we know. But when you're at a high frequency, it's the most amazing energy there is. So for this eclipse, it's going to be a little different for me. I'll actually have a really good viewpoint of it just because of where I am. It is in Cancer. And so it's going to be very emotional. All of those feelings from the Saturn energy are going to play out this storm. So we did see a little bit going on in the matrix, like people protesting and the usual government stuff. It's very important, though, that you guys aren't playing into those dramas and that you're staying focused on manifesting, because this eclipse energy is amazing for creating. And that's why all that stuff's just kind of a distraction that's going on around you. It's a really good time to reflect, to go within, spend more time meditating and focused on what you want to bring into your life.
And I know that your energy has really been focused on manifesting lately. So what insights have you learned that you've been implementing, and like how can you help keep us sharp so that we're good at that? Because sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes I suck at it.
First off, I kind of move with the energy storm. So I've been resting a week and I'm ready to jump into this storm, starting with this feed, and I'll, go to work crazy and I'll be putting out all manifesting vibes. I feel there's different energies that are more conducive to manifesting, and these storms are amazing. I feel like we're all channels or like radio receivers, and that we're a little scrambled because of our vibrations. So we need a little bit of vibrational work in raising our frequencies. And so we have so many thoughts in a day. We're not as clear as we think we are on the going out end. So I've been telling people to make lists and to start to speak about the things that they want to create. And most people will be like, oh, I want to get a car one day. No, you have to be like, I'm getting this car. Or I want to get this. No, you're getting it. So more speaking things into existence, it's going to be a little clearer than our thoughts, and more manifesting lists with these energies. Everyone for the next week should just be making a list of the things that they want to manifest. And I'm telling people that once you make that list, you need to triple it. If you're trying to get the car you can afford, you better write down the car you'll never afford, because our thoughts are actually creating timelines and probability. And that's how we on them. So we had so much negative programming as to what is possible and what we can afford and what we can't afford. And we're in these little boxes. And then we just think about things we think we can get one day or we think we can do easily. We need to think bigger. Like we're manifesting castles and things that we can never do alone. We need to unlimit our minds in some way. So if you're trying to get your car you can afford, you better put down the car that costs 10 times that amount that you'll never afford. And I know people I couldn't do that. If you want the normal house, you better put down the mansion dream house, because that's how we create these timelines. And I know people will say, I'll never afford that. Well, the universe will make a way if you land on that timeline. So we're in these little prison cells of the American dream and kind of manifesting things on a loop. We need to really unlimit what is possible, more lists, be more clear about what you want. Understand too that you guys are starseeds and you're on a galactic assignment. So anything that you need will be given to you for your mission, which is you. You are your mission. So I feel like people have this disconnect between what they think they deserve and what they're creating. You guys have to understand that you'll be given anything that you need to assist this planet and to think bigger.
Yeah, I got to second that. And I want to, I'm going to drop the mic for you guys. One of the main reasons why you incarnate here on this planet is to master manifestation. This is a creation zone. It's one of the things that you're here for. So you might as well get really, really good at doing it, because it's one of the main reasons why you're here. I feel like there are some like main archetype things that we're working through here in this particular density, and that's one of them. All right. We are made in the likeness and image of God, the creator energy. And that's why we have to embody the badassery of being able to create. All right. We got to get good at that. And we're made for that. I love what you were talking about speaking it. Because speaking, I just want to bring your awareness to sound. Sound is the primordial energy, whether you believe in the Om or the Big Bang or God speaking it into existence. That is the energy that alchemizes and moves it from the powerful etheric realm of thought where it begins. Then you write it down, you feed it with your emotion. The sound transfers it into the physical realm. That's why the sound is so important. Getting clear, and getting clear is important too, because most of us have just diarrhea mouth. We just say whatever's coming up and you're creating your reality with that. So fine tune it, folks. It's time to really hold yourself accountable and understand how these energies are at play in your life. There was something else I wanted to say about it too, but I totally short-circuited when I got on my soapbox.
I've been on my feeds for a while now, so if I need to do anything, no matter how big or small it is, I get on my feed immediately. And I start to talk about it, and everyone becomes crazy until it materializes very fast. So I've just been speaking about the things that I want, like they're just coming to me. And it's been working a lot better than just putting out love and abundance vibes, to actually be speaking things into existence and writing them down. It just is so much easier manifesting.
I got it back. Here's what I wanted to share with you guys. Before I had a major transitional shift in my life in 2015, when I learned how to read the Akashic Records, I was on a really fun adventure in Hollywood. I was a Hollywood actress, and that really brought me a lot of opportunity to work on a lot of things about myself. I mean, like not caring what people think, getting out there and just committing to the work. A lot of this I learned storytelling. I learned how to be good at channeling, because when you're an actress, like you have to get out of the way and let the character come through you. But I still really, really struggled with being able to, be really open and know that I was what they were looking for when I walked in. Like my vulnerability would get the best of me sometimes, and it played on me. One of the biggest pieces and most powerful and profound pieces of advice that somebody gave me that shifted my awareness was that, Emily, that casting director wants you to walk in here and be fucking amazing. They want to be the person who discovers the next thing and says, hey, here she is, we got her. They're not looking for you to fail or be nervous or to laugh at you. And once I made that shift and realized that the universe was conspiring for my highest good, it began to translate in a lot of different areas of my life. And that's another subtle area where we get locked into the old imprisonment mentality, is thinking that, we're alone or everyone's against you. So you got to call yourself out. If you're in that bubble where you're feeling alone, you've got Robin's amazing community. You've got this community. You've got both. You've got more, plug in somewhere.
Yeah, we're all about forming connection with the Lightworkers and the healers and the starseeds, because it's amazing when you can come together in alignment with the right people. Look at this feed. It just generates such a high vibrational energy exchange. So there's just so many venues, and I think it's amazing too. We're always talking about the same topics. Don't forget gratitude too. That's the building blocks of manifesting, gratitude. We can never bring more into our lives if we're not grateful for what we have. So a lot of people get stuck on that programming where they're miserable with their lives, and then they have these manifesting blocks. So just spend more time in gratitude too. That is one of the building blocks of Reiki, but it's very powerful just to be grateful for what you have. So much more will arrive to you.
And another simple thing you can do, and then I want to address my buddy Suraj, because he's had a couple of good comments coming in here. Another simple thing you can do to tune your energy frequency to abundance, start noticing it everywhere. If you're walking out and you notice the abundance of the green, the colors of green of grass and trees and leaves and everything around you, acknowledge it, notice it and acknowledge it. If you've got a friend who's doing really well in their business, acknowledge it, notice it, bless it. If you see construction and things expanding around you in your neighborhood, acknowledge it and bless it. Learn that it's being reflected all around you. All you have to do is learn to see that instead of whatever you're seeing that you don't want more of. Just shift so that you see more of what you want to create in your life. Okay, so Suraj has a really good point here. He says the West always wants to manifest money while the East wants to manifest spiritual powers, in front of which money is nothing. So
I want to interrupt so bad. I have to. It's probably really expensive to live in some of those cultures, right?
Expensive or not expensive?
In some of the cultures, it's probably expensive to live like in the United States compared to other countries as well, with everything going on too. That's a good point too, right? Maybe that's why everyone's trying to manifest so much there.
It's really an interesting topic. And I'll be honest with you guys, I got called out on it this week because I have been learning to work with the manifestation energy that's available right now on the planet. And I've been learning personally to work with it through my Kundalini energy, my sexual energy. I'm starting to learn how all these connections work. I'm starting to play with these things. And I was totally, and I'm sharing it with my community in a very G-rated way because, that's me. I do have that Pollyanna side to me when it comes to talking about sex. Anyway, so I've been practicing trying to have like physical expressions of this manifestation, like, just like certain tangible things. And as I was channeling this week inside my community, the Galactic Federation, the Pleiadian Atlantean Council actually called me out and said, while Emily is doing this, it is actually better to focus on your energetic skills. And so it's more profound to use this work to expand our energetic potential. But the West is symbolic right now for how we have totally screwed ourselves up with money and how we think about money, and not being able to think about money as just energy and support from the planet. So I definitely see both sides of it. I feel like it's the responsibility of light workers right now to show up and be in abundance for the gifts and the knowledge they're sharing right now, because that is part of the negative karma that we created before when we hanging out poor and not stepping up, sharing our skills and all of that shit that we're releasing. I'm going to be quiet now and let you talk about it.
Well, money was supposed to originally, I'm sure it was meant to be an even energy exchange of sorts. I'm sure when it first was made or came out, when they came out with the concept of money, it was supposed to be like a fair balance. And we know that everything is an energy exchange aside from the money. Even when you're just having a conversation, there's an energetic exchange of sorts. And I feel like money has become uneven. Like it's clearly not an even energy exchange anymore for the amount of people that are working and whatever it is. And we're here to bring balance into things. And money is an energy, like you said, but right now it's kind of an uneven energy exchange. So people have these really limiting beliefs about it, blocks, whatever it is. Abundance is a frequency, though, and we're tuned into it now. So there's no reason we should be living in those lower vibrational enslavement programs still. We kind of have to tune out of that and learn how to manifest anything that we need or want easily at this point.
And would you say, like, really, is the breakdown really just keeping your vibration high?
I teach all the time. I have students of all levels, and the only thing that we really should be doing every day is keeping our vibration as high as possible. We are that consciousness grid. we're placed all over the world for a reason, because we are those grid points. And if we're not vibing as high as possible, all of humanity will be affected by that. Our job is to lift up consciousness. And we do that just by raising our vibrational frequency as high as we can every day and vibing. And when we do that, we bring up the entire consciousness grid, and all of humanity comes up in vibration.
Yeah, just by us doing the work and holding that frequency, it's raising the consciousness everywhere. So you're doing super powerful work when you're just showing up and keeping your vibration high. So what would you say are the most subtle areas, like the areas where we miss, where we don't recognize that we're getting pulled back into a lower vibration? What are the traps?
Well, I see a lot of light workers will wake up, and then possibly because of their jobs or whatever it is, it's like they get sucked back in to that third dimensional reality of just working all the time, or being service of self, or, you know, whatever it is. It's like you wake up and fall back asleep into the material again.
Say that again. You wake up and you fall back.
A lot of people wake up and then it's like they fall back asleep into the material in some level.
Mm-hmm. I love referring to like that material world as the world of the 10,000 things, because it's from the Taoist principle, and it just brings my awareness to how plugged in we get to that physical construct of the things that we're, you know, that we're surrounding ourselves with. Every single thing that we actually have around us has a density to it. So what would you say to people who are like going through that shedding process, and in terms of like how important is that of shedding, getting rid of things? Is it possible to have a lot of material good things around you and still, like, how's all that fit together?
All right. Most people, unfortunately, in the Matrix are only aware of the physical reality, the material world. They're not accessing the spiritual as we are. To me, that's very real. I'm very multidimensional, just like you. But a lot of people are just in that physical reality. And the thing is, objects hold energy. Everything has energy. It contains a frequency. Like, I just got a new phone, and it sounds silly. I'm vibing much higher having a new phone now, because there's probably a lot of negative energy in the old one. You have to think about it. Just like crystals, any object is going to store any energy that's been around it. So a lot of people like have toxic family members, and they hold on to gifts they gave them. It could be objects in your house, whatever it is, ex-boyfriends, people that were probably real low vibe that gave you gifts, whatever it is, you're going to be having a vibration per object. So if you have these things in your house, they're going to weigh down your frequency just being in the vicinity of them. I'm telling everyone to clean their houses out and get rid of a lot of the things in your houses now, because just like any energy, there's magic in these items as well. So there's a lot of energetic magic going on. You might want to get rid of the things you're not using now. Like if you're storing things in your house that you might use one day, you probably won't, and you should clean out your garage or your closet. And I always say this, that when we hold on to that old stuff, we have no space to create new probabilities. So people hold on to this stuff they'll probably never use, and it makes the energy stagnant in your house. Like, I came into this house and it was so stagnant, just the same stuff in the same place for years, and it will make this energy just so still and stagnant. So if you want to move the energy in your house, you're going to want to get rid of things. And it's amazing to me that once you get rid of those old clothes, you'll just manifest new ones, that you'll manifest better things. So we hold on to these old things when we could be receiving so much better. And it's time to declutter your house and your energy field. And the objects really are a component to it.
I love that you said that. It was like you had jumped into my Akashic Records, my energy field, and started reading something that happened to me. I had a gift that somebody gave me that disappeared. It walked off. It's gone. And I tuned in. I'm like, where is that? I liked that. No, that's not your energy. You got to release that. And so that's really cool that you were able to get into my world and see that and share that story.
I mean, like a necklace. It would have whoever's made it would have whoever made its energy in it. So I'm really weird about jewelry I'll wear and like who gave it to me and stuff like that. Because we don't really realize that, like, you know, your vibration was much different 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and you might want to get rid of that stuff because you were at a low frequency, and the objects that you had from that time are going to be low frequency as well. You're becoming lighter, you're raising your frequency, and you might want to get rid of the old stuff that's weighing you down more than you know, or it could happen like me where you just lose everything in your house and have to leave. So I think if we start to spring clean, it's a little bit easier than losing our whole house full of stuff.
Well, okay, like you just blew my circuits. What are you talking about? I didn't like I love you and I hang out with you in these times and we're friends, but I don't keep up with every detail. What are you talking about?
I was vibing too high for where I was living. I had to leave. I guess I did enough inner work and I kept raising my vibration that ultimately I became too high vibration for the East Coast. And then I went to California and I did a lot of inner work and I had to leave there too. Like if we keep raising our vibration, it might just not be in alignment with the things in your house anymore. So It really is a lot easier if we just get rid of this stuff instead of trying to hang on to it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Dottie has a good question here. She says, but can't you change the energy of things like jewelry?
You could try, but I mean, these things have been imprinted. I mean, you could try, like you can go ahead and you're an alchemist and you can try, but these things are encoded with their own types of magic. And it's really important to know that they already were imprinted with set frequencies. So I don't know, you should probably just let go of the things toxic people gave you or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that they're...
Whoa, oh wait, real quick. They hold cellular memory of everything that's ever touched them, like an object. So I used to not like to touch things because I could touch like, I don't know, like a lamp in a room and I could see everything that had ever gone on around that lamp. They hold cellular memory of everything that's ever been around them, objects. So they're holding memories as well.
I'm getting a message coming in right now that's just explaining a little bit of this too. So I want to share. And that is, yes, there are certain souls out there who are alchemists and who can alchemize energy. And it is part of their experience to learn about that energy and play with it. However, many of these objects, like our crystals, all of the things that we have, exactly what Ra Binn said, they've been imprinted with energy. They're encoded with energy. And they definitely pick up energy from other, everything that they've touched. It is possible for you to recognize the totality of the energy carried, meaning what is native to the actual crystal, what has been influenced based on where that crystal has been. One of the reasons why the Akashic Records are so amazing, because if you know how to tap that space and ask the right questions, you can get that information. But really, like, trying to change the nature of a crystal to practice your own alchemy is really a large expenditure of energy with not a lot of, you're not reaping a lot of reward from that, because it's here for a reason anyway. And we know that when we plug into the flow and go with like the flow, the reason of how things should unfold, rather than trying to shift them and change them, it's just going to be a smoother, more graceful experience. So that's maybe can help us light workers as we're recognizing, when do I shift something? When do I get rid of it? When do I tap into it and say, how is this supposed to help me? How do I use this? What information does it have? And it's just all part of our process of growing and learning, because there aren't necessarily guidebooks or manuals written. Yes, there are a lot of people who are sharing information. I love what you said when I tuned into that broadcast of yours, when I was just like, I gotta send her a message and tell her I love her. You're definitely calling light workers out. And what I really loved that put me in check, and I shared this with you, was that a lot of times if I want to know more about something, I'll Google it. And you're like, stop Googling things. Go to the Akash. And I'm like, well, of course. I mean, that's what I do, is I read the Akash. So it really gave me the permission to have to stop just like confirming information or double checking or Googling. Go straight away and get the information that you need. And I think that's freaking fantastically powerful.
Very. And you already know that you're an amazing channel. So I think people need a little bit more confidence too in who we are before we came here, in our abilities, because you have amazing abilities and you're able to just download anything. I feel like people are spending too much time on Google looking for information, because I found in my own journey that there was a lot of deception in the spiritual communities around us. On my own journey, a lot of misinformation, because I too woke up and went to Google and I kind of was imprinted and indoctrinated again. And I think that we need to kind of step outside those boxes and tap in and tune into our own energy, and that time is better spent meditating or whatever it is, downloading your own information.
Okay, here's a great question. How do you know if you're a light worker?
Well, are you awake? This is what I like to say. Are you awake? I think everyone on this feed is, but the rest of humanity isn't, you're noticing. And I know everyone thinks they're going to wake them up. I don't think it works like that. I think that if you're awake, you're a starseed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason you're awake.
Yeah, I always go to, well, if you're watching this, you are a light worker. If you are becoming aware of the light energies and how to use them to tap into the highest good and transformation of yourself and the planet, you're a light worker. If you're not doing that full time for a job yet, I can tell you that's going to be a big part of the transition as well that needs to happen here on the planet. You guys, we all, and I'm throwing me in here too, but I'm doing it, and I know you're doing it too, but you got to grab your nuts and create that. If you're not in alignment, if you're called and you resonate to this work and you're not in alignment in every area of your life, meaning your relationships, your job, where you're at physically on the planet, then you have areas where you got work to do. And we always have areas we have work to do. So no big deal. But if you are a light worker and you're not doing this full time, be aware that that pull is going to come onto you because it's part of the story. It's part of the unfolding of the story, right?
You guys will be. You guys are the healers. So we have to heal ourselves before we can heal others. And we just have a lot of work to do amongst the light workers. So you guys are all light workers, and you're all going to be pushed onto your own mission to serve humanity. I look at it kind of like while you're healing, they call that like the cocoon phase, right? Or like a birthing period, cocoon. You're turning into a butterfly. You are transforming, but part of this journey is healing yourself first before you can go heal and repair the rest of the world. So change really starts with you. And if you're tuning into this feed, you are a light worker and a healer for sure. A lot of people are just waking up and figuring out their empaths. Well, you guys are also taking on energy. So you guys are energy workers as well. So a lot of people are just still awakening and working on themselves, but everyone is going to be needed to be on their own mission to serve humanity. And that is part of the process.
Ashley says, what if we are still going through our spiritual awakening?
Well, we all are.
Big God, I
know that everyone thinks we're awake and that's it, and that's it, right? We're awake, we're here, but we're coming to more and more lucidity for sure. So it's a process. It really is. It's an energetic purification process, and we're going to wake up a lot more. We're just awakening.
Yeah, I see more and more of my own patterns coming to the surface every day. The first thing I wanted to comment was every time I water, I like go fill up my watering can to water my little fairy garden. I say to myself, and not to say that I'm enlightened, but this is just what goes through my mind. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, because I'm carrying my watering can. Because really, like, part of your life profoundly changes, and then part of it doesn't. You're showing up, you're doing the work. It's we're showing up like this in this space. The other thing that I wanted to say is that I'm seeing my patterns more and more on a daily basis, and depending on what new energy frequencies I become aware of. So I shared that, like, I'm learning about how your sexual energy, your kundalini energy, which is also your creative energy, it's your life force energy, it fuels every creative project that you do, how that can so specifically show you where your subconscious limitations and patterns are, like where your thresholds are. Once I began to see the awareness, I began to recognize where my thresholds of trust were, because that shows up so much in your intimacy with yourself or another person. I began to see my threshold of communication, because that shows up in that intimate space. So we are constantly, continuing to grow and expand as light workers, even as leaders doing this. You never get to that space where it stops for you. And there's so much exciting stuff to learn. So I just really embrace it and enjoying being along for the ride.
Yeah, I'm always changing my perspectives as well, as I'm evolving and learning and growing. It's all about changing your perspectives and just kind of going with the flow. And it's going to take us somewhere amazing and to unity.
Mackenzie says, what are suggestions you have for visualization? She can feel the energy, but she can't see it.
I personally, when I hear visualization, I have to, like after I get off of here, I will go take a shower, but I will meditate. And I use the violet flame a lot. I've been posting it all over Facebook today to purify the feed. But that's something that you can easily start with for visualizing something. You can go ahead and meditate and visualize yourself in purple light. Or you can go ahead and take a shower and just visualize the water purple. I like to do that every time I shower to purify and detox my aura. And it's really cleansing. So you should probably start with purple and the violet flame. You can go ahead and imagine people burning people in the flame to purify their auras. And it's pretty simple. So start to visualize yourself in purple. That's probably a good area to start with.
I like that. Another simple thing that you can do, I'll throw my 2 cents in, lick your finger and touch your third eye, and you just kind of feel your awareness go to that sensation, the air on your third eye, anywhere where you can bring your awareness in a different way. Since you said feeling is already a way that you experience the energy very strong, see, like you're incorporating the feeling into expanding the vision in the third eye, because it's tactile, you feel it. And when you set that intention to bring awareness to your third eye, your visualization, and it's kind of a life energy hack, because you're using the feely part of yourself that's already very profound at knowing the energy and infusing those things together. There are lots of fun, like actual practical exercises you can do as well to work with your vision. I find that one cool way is those 3D eye puzzles. You know, those where you stare at them and then all of a sudden, like, your eyes begin to see in different dimensions. Mm-hmm. It's really cool when you can apply practical things that your physical body can do that can begin to upgrade you in your energy and your light body as well. All right, let's check in and see. Take a couple of more questions and comments before we wrap up for the day. Let's see here. Okay, here is Luke Ray says, if you're not looking for a certain subject matter and it comes in front of you to be aware of, isn't that like divine matter? What do you have to say about that?
Well, I believe the universe is communicating with us in everything that we're doing, whether you're seeing like synchronicities, random occurrences. Nothing is random or by chance here. You know, we agreed for every experience we're having. And it's much like when you have these dreams and they're very symbolic and you can go ahead and look up their meanings. Well, the universe is always communicating with us all around us. A lot of people just aren't noticing, but there's magic everywhere. So I think it's important to know that if you're seeing a subject or even downloading information about it, or you're watching a movie and you're seeing something, it's all going to lead up to something. It's all very important, everything that you're experiencing around you. So the universe is teaching you and communicating with you all the time.
I totally agree with this. I feel like whatever vibrational frequency you're on, if you're depressed and down, you're sending and receiving messages constantly, and you're just communicating with that lower vibrational density and frequency. When you raise it up high, you're communicating with those higher level, consciousnesses and frequencies. But it is a constant communication exchange back and forth with the etheric field. And you get to decide wherever you want to plug in. You get to decide if you want to plug into higher vibrating opportunities for expansion and new perspective, very growth-minded place to be, or if you're can't help yourself and you're still working on autopilot, in which case we're holding the space for the wake-up call. We're all waking up in our own time as well. We got to remember that it's necessary, like we talked about, that this process unravel slowly as it does. And the people who are still asleep on the planet are allowing for that gradual process to take place. They are playing the perfect role that they need to be. So don't be hating on your neighbor who's not yet awake. Just learn to allow that to maybe show you an area where you're not fully awake yet, because truthfully, when anything shows up in your consciousness and awareness, it's a reflection of your own inner stuff. You can always use that as a roadmap back to your next area for growth. All right, here, this is a fabulous one to end on today. How do we connect with you ladies in your groups? So share with everybody the best place to connect with you, my
Okay,
dear.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'll probably drop like a link below. But I have a Sparks of Divine Light Healing page that I stream off of every day, pretty much. So I try to do a lot of lives in that space. I'll go ahead and drop the page info below. And I have a few groups, but my main one is New Earth United. And we started a new network called Agents of Light. So I'll go ahead and drop those names below for you guys if you guys want to come hang out with us and vibe with us. We're all about just staying really high vibe and vibing every day and lifting that grid up. So I'll make sure to leave the comments below.
Awesome. And I can't recommend enough, if you're not already connected with Ra Binn, do it. I have some go-to places where I know that I can trust the information. I know that I can experience a place of love and acceptance and growth. Ra Binn is hands down one of those spaces. The community she's creating is created space for growth in myself. So thank you. You guys got to hook up with her. And if you are a light worker and you're looking to expand your platform, your impact, you're looking for strategic places to collaborate, my entire mission, as it becomes more and more clear, I'm recognizing that that's how I want to show up. And that's what we're creating at the Akashic Academy. Space and opportunity for light workers to have the connection, the space for growth, the continued personal development, as well as opportunities to host their own shows, to write for our magazine, to be on a bigger stage and reach more and more people, which is exactly what I love about seeing these numbers grow here. It's really special to be able to be a part of sharing this light. So I'm honored that you guys have helped create this space for me. If you want to know more about the Akashic Academy, click the sign up button at the top of this page. It's that easy. Feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook. Ra Binn, I love you. Thank you for hanging out today.
Oh my God, it's been so amazing. And we'll for sure have to do some type of energy exchange event and something.
But please tell everybody before we go, you gotta tell about the retreat. The retreat.
Oh yeah, we are doing a retreat in March of 2019. That gives us about 9 months. We're renting a castle here in the United Kingdom. I am in Plymouth, England, and it's right by the ocean and everything. It's so over the top. And I put the link for my site, like I'm putting it up there right now, so you guys can check it out. Go check out my castle retreat we're doing in our store. It's pretty amazing. We do have limited spots, clearly, but we're going to put together a separate package for people if they're not able to get sleeping space, because we want to bring over our entire consciousness group, if possible, over here to play castle. And we just have some amazing workshops lined up and some amazing teachers that are going to come help me with it. And we're going to do a group meditation to summon UFOs. We have all this fun stuff planned out because, we're in a good area for that. We're not in U.S. airspace. So we have all these big over-the-top events planned for our castle retreat. You guys will have to check it out.
I'm so excited. It's rocking to see you expanding into retreats. That sounds like, like the vacation that you want to go on to have the transformative experience that's not just like, taking your typical vacation. This is what vacation in the 5D looks like, you guys. I'm really, really excited to see that expansion. We've got that in our pipelines coming soon too. We want to go on pilgrimages, very similar to the Camino de Santiago, except we're not going to walk for quite 6 weeks, I don't think, but where you trek and you do pilgrimages. So I love that you are like going with your machete through the ethers, chopping down this space to create these kind of experiences for people, because I want to ride on the coattails of that energy and create it.
We'll be live streaming it. Nice. It's crazy. We'll be live the whole time too. I like to do my whole life on video. I started doing my feeds as like an ascension diary so I could just get out there and connect and share my experiences, and they kind of went crazy. But I've been documenting my entire life for the past few years and just my travels and what I'm doing. So we'll be live streaming too from the event. It'll be pretty crazy.
It's beautiful. I'm glad that you've shown up in that vulnerable way, because I personally have just received so much support along my journey from you, just showing up and being who you are. So keep rocking.
Oh my God, and I forgot, it's going to be spring solstice.
Nice.
It will line up like perfect with spring solstice too, the energy. So I'm just so excited. I can't wait till you see it on video too, the people that can't be there. It'll be so amazing for everyone.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Have an awesome rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. Of course, Sunday is a big day at the Akashic Academy. We've got 3 shows lined up for you, so you can tune in all day long, get your spiritual fix, get your fix of encouragement and inspiration. Love you all. Namaste. See you back here again.
Bye.